The bells still echo, even if they ring a slightly different sound in a slightly different space. But still, the songs of the ancestors are the ones that sing us here. And so we too, with open minds and open hearts to this new place, begin with flexibility and song. Dear friends, welcome to First Unitarian Universalist Church of Rochester, here in our new home away from home on Viola Road. Since 1866, our spiritual practice has been to embody love and justice, rooted in many sources of wisdom and many spiritual paths, believers in God and mystery, nature and love, queer and trans folks, immigrants and refugees, all of who we are and who we are becoming are held here as sacred. So after service, join us for refreshments and conversation next door in the fellowship hall. There's a nursery open for young ones that our staff can guide you to. Activities for kids following the time for all ages. They will exit together, and then they will re-meet their families in the fellowship hall after the service. And we will figure out where everything is slowly over time. Anytime before or during the service, you can write a prayer or light a candle for a joy or a sorrow on the table right by the main entry doors to the sanctuary there. And each week, our offering goes beyond our church. For the month of February, our justice partner is ACLA, offering support to immigrant communities. You can give us a Plates Pass or anytime online. And you can see your order of service on the back for information, upcoming events or meetings, as well as our new mailing address, which is a P.O. box, Sunday service. Tupper Suppers are going to be coming back at the beginning of March. So as we settle into this space, some things are the same, some things are different, and isn't that such as life? So keep up to date with your e-news. I want to extend just a deep sense of gratitude for the staff and volunteers who have spent massive amounts of time figuring out the space, but also moving this week, setting up office space, program space, figuring out when do we roll. You can see Roxanne Schleisner or contact the office and we'll get you in touch if you'd like to support that effort. And today is a day of figuring it out. New routines, finding where things are, making space for each other in body and spirit. Each week, we want to invite you to bring two things: your name tag and your own coffee mug, if you can. That will reduce cleaning and supplies in our new space. We'll provide the coffee and tea and the donuts still. But we have found a generous welcome from our hosts here at Our Savior's, kind greetings, thermostat orientations, and more. And so I'm glad this morning to welcome Pastor Ben Lovin, who's pastor here at Our Savior's, to offer just a few words of welcome.
Welcome.
I should welcome you.
Well, you did say it's First Unitarian Universalist. I heard you. I was back there. Welcome, everyone. We're so glad to have you here with us. This congregation, I've been here for 10 and a half years, and the essential character of Our Savior's is to be a people who are genuinely and appropriately friendly. And I hope that you feel that, and that is how we are going to be in relationship with you: genuine and appropriate friendliness, true neighborliness. You are our neighbors. We have different traditions, but that doesn't mean we aren't neighbors and we can't work together to do some good in this world. So I welcome you here. I'm glad you're here. Again, we'll figure things out as we feel each other out and figure out what each of our needs are, but we are so glad that you are here with us today. So as long as you are here with us, please consider this your home.
As is often a tradition, when you're a good guest, you bring some gifts of grateful for the hospitality. So a few things, if you follow along, it shouldn't be too difficult. I have a gift in honor of your tradition, a gift in honor of maybe a bridge for our traditions, and then a gift from our own tradition. So this first is kind of a personal one, too. This is a set of liturgical cross necklaces that were my grandpa's, who was a Lutheran pastor in Lanesboro for many years. So I offer these to you as they can grace you in worship in this space. So from the Reverend Melvin Suker to you. The bridging gift is this Book of Common Prayer from King's Chapel in Boston. It's the oldest Unitarian church in the country, and they describe themselves as Anglican in liturgy and Unitarian in theology. So it's a little bit of a bridge of our traditions. We pilgrimage there every year with either youth or adults. So you have your own King's Chapel Book of Common Prayer. And then this is a rustic little chalice that grace our small tables and classrooms for our youth and children. Chalices that we'll be talking about today is a symbol of our faith, but also is a symbol in your faith as well. So we offer this from our kids and youth to your space. So thank you for your hospitality. We're so grateful for appropriate friendliness. That's fantastic. So I invite you to take a breath and settle into this space. the space of gracious hospitality of these dear neighbors. With these words from our minister in the 1870s, the Reverend Eliza Tupper Wilkes. May our faith in humanity and our message of hope and good cheer light our way. It's good to be together. In just a moment, the opening hymn will call us back, but before that, I invite you to rise, embody your spirit, and greet those around you.
Love is the spirit of this church and the service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth in love, and to help one another. The ushers may now take the offering.
If the children would like to join me up front, look at all the space we have. This is pretty awesome. I brought the Wonder Box today. Yeah. So remember I had the Wonder Box last week, and Reverend Luke told you about a pitcher and a cornerstone that were in here. And so today, I am going to show you what's in there. Hold on, Charlie. Let's look here. So there's a couple things in here. Because even though we're in a new space, there's some things that traveled with us. So what are these? Kids, do you recognize these? Flashcards. They are flashcards. They're very big flashcards. So there's equity and love. Remember, what do we call these? These hang in our classrooms. Justice. Yes, our principles, but now we call them our values, right? Interdependence, generosity, transformation, and pluralism. And pluralism is one of those where somehow it got a little tack right in the middle there that I was not expecting. Sorry for the distraction. But pluralism is one of those where we say we celebrate many sources of inspiration. And that is part of when Reverend Luke was talking about the bridge between Lutheranism and ours, is that, you know, we make room in our lives for different beliefs and cultures and experiences. And so that is part of what we're going to learn when we're here. There's some things that just don't change. So we brought our values with us, and we also brought our chalice. You can see it behind me. We have these chalices too, the little ones that the kids all made. And if you missed our closing ritual last week and you need a chalice at home, please feel free to help yourself. They're out in the lobby right there. You can take one home with you, because this is what we take with us from place to place. It is a symbol of our faith. And look, I even have one of the ones that Reverend Luke gave to Pastor Ben, one of the ones we have in our classrooms. But they come in all shapes and sizes and all forms, and it is what carries our light. So I want to share with you today this excerpt from a reminder of what we share, because we have more in common. We have more in common with people than we have differences often. The chalice is a symbol of our faith. And like our faith, it is not magic, nor is it mysterious. We light it as a reminder of what we share as a community and who each of us is called to be. So we all come here and take light with us as we leave. And that won't change. So I'm going to invite kids up through middle school to join us. Chantel will lead the way. We're going to get a little orientation of all the little things on the way back to our classroom. And we're going to make our own chalices today. So Austin is going to play the children's benediction. You can find the lyrics in the back inside cover of your hymnals.
So, I know we've all heard many stories of resistance and resilience since the ice occupation of Minnesota. But I'm hoping that you will allow me one more story. This happened to me sometime in January, and I've changed the name of the woman in the story so she may not be recognized. For more than 10 years, I've been doing handyman services for a Rochester woman who is in her late 70s. I will refer to her as Grandma Moses. Grandma Moses taught business law at a college in her earlier years. Grandma is also a neighborhood activist of sorts, sometimes cleaning the park across the street or collaborating with neighbors on community issues. Lately, she has not needed anything from me, but she texted me in January, something about replacing some lock or locks on a rental apartment door. When I stopped by her house, I learned of a Hispanic woman living on her block. She has 2 children. The man she was living with recently left. We're not sure why, but maybe he was scared. She has some relatives in Rochester and is now hoping to find a little work. Grandma Moses had been afraid for her because of this administration's terrorists going door to door in the same manner as Herod did once when he thought his kingdom was threatened by a newborn baby. Anyway, she wanted to replace the upstairs entry door and the locks to the apartment. The entry door was a weak, hollow core door, and Grandma Moses wanted to replace it with a solid metal panel door as well as all the security locks. When I first entered the apartment, I could hear cartoons in Spanish playing in the bedroom and spotted a 4-year-old girl, cute as a button. My eyes then swept over the neatly cared for 2-bedroom apartment with Mary of Guadalupe on nearby wall and a crucifix in the bedroom. The woman was soft-spoken. Her 10-year-old son was at school. I struggled a moment in this situation, thinking at first how this little family copes with the threat of tyranny from a cruel administration. Then with my own life and the seemingly minor problems I must deal with day to day, and how my own privilege allows me all that I have. For the next 2 days, I removed the old door and replaced it with a solid steel core door that would be difficult to break down. Then replaced the deadbolt lock with something more secure. Grandma Moses paid for the door and the locks and stood by, getting to know the woman more and helping out wherever she could. I'm not good at installing doors. But what I am good at is making something work, and we got the job done. But the question hung in my mind, did we help? Will she be safe? Or will her children watch while she is handcuffed and hauled away into the unknown while her children are crying? All good questions. What I do know is that for a while she was cared for and felt the love of strangers. This alone, I thought, would give her at least a modicum of relief or hope. The kindness of strangers. Look it up in the Bible if you must. But the question, have I done anything, runs deeper. I've been attending this church since the early 90s. I've seen times, as in most churches, with periods of dissatisfaction with a minister, times with great ministers, times with interim ministers, and times with no ministers. There have been times when I did not agree with every policy decision, or just times when my own interest in attending had waned. But, as in the song the choir sang a few weeks back, I always took a step, that one more step. Because in that step is where I discover my resilience. And now, this morning, we celebrate having taken one more step across a new threshold into a temporary space. Welcomed into his sanctuary with the kindness of strangers. I am feeling a bit like an immigrant waiting on Ellis Island in an unfamiliar place with only a dream of a new home. But I am confident. In time, we will take one more step, again, across another threshold into our new home.
invite you to take a deep breath. Breathe deep the breath of life. Feel below you the earth in its ancient turning. Above you the sky, and beyond that the stars shining with their ancient light, holding you in this moment, this breath. You yourself made of earth and stars. I invite you into this time of meditation, this time of prayer, first by sharing silence together. Spirit of life, source of love, God and Gaia of 1,000 names and beyond all naming. How quickly things can change, from familiar surroundings to something new, new wayfinding, even new ways that sound itself takes hold in a space, every sense needing to retune in some way to a world similar and changed all at once. What travels with us, what remains amidst the change, our beloved companions beside us, the welcome of strangers that open doors. It is kindness and compassion and spirit and love that has always and will always be that which holds us, which guides us and calls us toward a larger justice. And so we hold many people and places in our heart that lead us to compassion. And we begin with the names from our immigration justice folks of neighbors who have been detained or deported by immigration enforcement actions that we hold in love. I invite you to bring the names you're holding in your own heart this day, in joy or in sorrow, silently or loud now in this time, to speak their names. Be held in love and grace, healing and liberation. These words of meditation are from Lynn Unger, who writes, "Breathe," said the wind. "How can I breathe at a time like this when the air is full of smoke, of burning tires and lives?" "Just breathe," the wind insisted. Easy for you to say if the weight of injustice is not wrapped around you, cutting off air. "But I need you to breathe," said the wind. "I need you to breathe. Don't tell me to be calm when there are so many reasons to be angry, so much cause for despair." "I didn't say to be calm," said the wind. "I said to breathe. We're going to need a lot of air to make this storm together." May that be so. Amen. The hymn is meditation on breathing. The choir will sing once through. And I think you likely know most of the lyrics. When I breathe in peace. When I breathe out love.
for calling the spirit back from wandering the earth in its human feet. Put down that bag of potato chips, that white bread, that bottle of pop. Turn off that cell phone, computer, and remote control. Open the door, then close it behind you. Take a breath offered by friendly winds. Give back with gratitude. If you sing, it will give your spirit lift to fly to the stars in ears and back. Acknowledge this earth who has cared for you since you were a dream. Let the earth stabilize your post-colonial insecure jitters. Be respectful of small insects, birds, and animal people who accompany you. Ask their forgiveness for the harm we humans have brought down upon them. Don't worry, the heart knows the way. Though there may be high rises, interstates, checkpoints, soldiers, wars. The journey might take you a few hours, a day, a year, a few years, 100, 1,000, or even more. Watch your mind. Without training, it might run away. And leave your heart for the immense human feast set by the thieves of time. When you find your way to the circle, to the fire kept burning by the keepers of your soul, you will be welcomed. You must clean yourself with cedar, sage, or other healing plant. Cut the ties you have to failure and shame. Let go the pain you are holding in your mind, your shoulders, your heart, all the way to your feet. Let go the pain of your ancestors to make way for those who are heading in our direction. Ask for forgiveness. Call upon the help of those who love you. Those helpers take many forms: animal, element, bird, angel, saint, stone, or ancestor. Call yourself back. You must call in a way that your spirit will want to return. Speak to it as you would be to a beloved child. Welcome your spirit back from its wandering. It will return in pieces, in tatters. Gather them together. They will be happy to be found after being lost for so long. Your spirit will need to sleep a while after it's bathed and given clean clothes. Now, you can have a party. Invite everyone you know who loves and supports you. Keep room for those who have no place else to go. Make a giveaway, and remember, keep the speeches short. Then you must do this. Help the next person find their way through the dark.
Gather round, people, wherever you roam, and admit that the waters all round you have grown, and accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, and you'd better start swimming, or you'll sink like a stone, for the times, they are a-changing. Come, mother.
I'll always take a little organ, Austin. Thanks.
This organ has buttons, ours doesn't.
It's good just to wake you up a little bit there. Thank you, choir. So sure, it was just a mere 5 miles from there to here. Slow and steady, especially on that last incline that I can still feel in my left knee, but we took the time we needed together and found our way just a mere 5 miles, but so much distance traveled. Because belonging isn't only about distance. It was just a short way out of the parking lot, onto the path weaving through the city, through streets and neighborhoods and parks and puddles to find our way here, holding on to this storied symbol, our chalice. And any good symbol has more than one story to it. If you start that story, that processional, in Czechoslovakia 100 years before the Protestant Reformation in the early 1400s to a radical priest named Jan Hus. He was killed for his suggesting that commoners, you all, not just the priests, should be allowed to partake in communion fully, the Christian ritual of sharing bread and wine to drink from the chalice cup. That symbolic story is and it's there where he met the leader of the newly formed Unitarian Service Committee in 1941, an organization which began as an organization helping Jews flee Nazi Germany. Reverend Charles Joy led a network of secret couriers and agents. For their unknown organization to look more official, to have a seal on their documents, to persuade police and courts that they had authority, Joy asked Deutsch to create a symbol to be used to help with journeys to safety. And so the cup and the flame, a chalice, was created as a symbol of helpfulness and of sacrifice. From there, the chalice became the enduring symbol of our faith. And full circle, we come to this chalice, which has been set on our spiritual ancestors' communion table at the Walden Lane Church for decades, and will be again. And for now, it's set on a different communion table that has welcomed us unconditionally. Symbols hold many stories at once. And so we have been welcomed, and now it is our spiritual work in part to travel well and to find a home away from home and to be good guests. How to be a good guest. We sang when we relit the chalice last Sunday evening, "This Little Light of Mine," and I'll add to the group of leaders in our leadership meeting later today, "This little light of mine, I'm gonna turn it off when I'm done with my room, and I'm not gonna touch the thermostat. I'm not gonna make a mess. I'm gonna clean up my stuff and put the chairs back." We'll just add some different verses to the song. Don't make a mess, turn the lights off, etc. But also, sometimes being a good guest is learning a bit about the stories and symbols of the place that you visit, of your hosts. The symbols around us, which our hosts have adjusted some as a symbol of welcome for our religious differences, is a sign of spiritual hospitality. They hold varied stories themselves. Unitarian Universalists, religious liberals, are sometimes quick to dismiss many religious symbols, especially maybe from our own personal past or histories of conquest or oppression or sometimes narrow definitions. If you notice behind you in the Walden Lane Sanctuary, there is an image of many different religious symbols. Place it out here for you. Some of you had no idea it hung on the back wall every single Sunday. You're like, really? That was in there? It was, as long as I was, and longer before. A reminder of our core value of pluralism, of many symbols, and our own spiritual history. One of the most helpful reminders to me of religious symbols in my own spiritual journey is that every symbol holds many stories at once. One of my theology professors always said when I was asking a critical question or wondering about something like, yeah, but what about this? He'd say, that's one story about it. There are more. So, if you travel south, the symbol of the cross itself shifts and changes. Maybe even something about the rigidity and the harshness of the far north, rooted in histories of empire and conquest, found a different feeling in southern climes and cultures where the warmth of different traditions, ways of being, found in the symbols something different. A premier example of this is the tradition of liberation theology, a spiritual framework that tells the stories of Christianity, especially in Central America, through the understanding that all of those stories are stories of liberation, of community, of solidarity of the oppressed and the poor. Gustavo Gutierrez from Peru, and more recently, Agustina Luis Nunez from Puerto Rico, remind us that the story of Jesus in their traditions, love thy neighbor, God is love, which are also the core of Universalist heritage, that all the stories are about welcome to the immigrant and the refugee. Don't we still need those stories? That universal salvation is another word for collective liberation or beloved community. And even the symbols that we might have the most complicated feelings and histories about, like the cross, in these traditions, they are not praised as being redemptive or good, but a symbol of solidarity, a solidarity accompanied with grave risk, that sometimes we risk our lives for each other for a larger love and a larger justice, the call to move beyond our comfort sometimes, to face the harsh realities of the world, even in the face of fear and empire, with as much love and grace as we can offer each other. These traditions, these theologies break open some of the stereotypical narrow definitions of hatred and empire and recast it as solidarity and liberation. That empire is not a distant past, it is now. And we need as many symbols of love and solidarity as we can find, from a welcome as wide as we can imagine, to look through all of the layers and find what threads of possibility there are for us there, until there's room for everyone at the table, and there is light and warmth enough for all. Or as Reverend Eliza said, to take our light into the darkest night of sorrow. How can we hesitate, she said, for if hungry souls need food, what do we have to offer? As we enter this threshold, this home away from home, I know you have your own many layers of how it feels to travel to this new space, how it feels to, especially the 9 o'clockers, like, what is this 11 o'clock service? I hope you had a productive morning at home. Layers of like, is this my seat? How does this transfer to here? Layers of, how is it going to feel here for well over a year? Layers of, how does it feel to not be back in the Walden Lane Church? Layers of, how am I going to find my people, my groups, both logistically, but that sense of home? The only way we do it is to take all of the layers of interconnection, the symbols that guide us, and we stick together. So I want to offer these words one last time from Joy Harjo. Just receive them as a blessing. Whatever words in there that you need to hear this day as you enter this time. She writes, open the door and then close it behind you. Take a breath that is offered by friendly winds, and then give back with gratitude. If you sing, it will give your spirit lift to fly to the stars' ears and back. And when you find your way to the circle, to the fire that has been kept burning by the keepers of your soul, you will be welcomed. So cut your ties to failure and shame. Let go of the pain you're holding in your mind, your shoulders, your heart, to your feet. Welcome your spirit back from its wandering. It will return in pieces, in tatters, so gather them together. They will be happy to be found after being lost so long. May it be, as our last hymn says, eternal love that weaves us and holds us beyond every symbol, every song, every yesterday, today, and tomorrow. May it always be love that remains. The hymn's Immortal Love. I invite you to rise in body or spirit as we sing. I invite you, as you're comfortable, place a hand on your heart or toward the sky or earth in gratitude and breathe deep the breath of life. Go yonder, and gather the people. Give them not hell, but courage and hope. Give them something of the love you have found here, and tell all the people that love is our home.